Why hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Princess Strongstyle 9v2 and welcome to the 4th edition of my weekly Q&As, where I come up here and take some time to answer your guys' question, up to a limit of 3 per person, and just shoot the shit with you guys when it comes to like anything. It can be about wrestling, it can be about movies, TV show, doesn't matter. You can ask me anything you want. All you have to do is send in your questions in the comment section below of this video, and I'll answer your questions for the following week. So hopefully you guys enjoy this week's edition, and let's get it started, shall we? First set of questions come from Jerichoholics 8704. First question: if you had to be a wrestler, what would be your ring name? It's difficult to come up with a ring name because a lot of people have so many different ring names out there. Some of them sound shitty, some of them are really good. But if I have to go with one, it's kind of strange, because if I told you guys in the past, I'm actually Hispanic, and we have certain traditions and cultures. And one thing I've noticed is that my dad really has not an infatuation, but kind of like has a bit of a fascination with scorpions to an extent, because I've seen him wear a few shirts that has like a scorpion on it, and no, it wasn't inspired by Sting or anything like that, but just out of like a personal interest. And with me, I always have this red cap with a scorpion on it. That's really cool. And if I was to come up with a ring name, I think I would name myself El Escorpion. Like if I was in like Mexico or something like that, if I was a wrestler. Reason why is that not only because the design of the scorpion on my cap is really cool, but also the fact that I was kind of inspired by it behind the tragic story in the film Drive. If you haven't seen that film, it's excellent. Although it's more for like filmmakers, you know, if you want to call them pretentious filmmakers. And the story behind the scorpion is really interesting if you watch that film. And I think because of the tragic backstory behind it, it would add a little bit more of a character to me, along with my ring name. So yeah, I would call myself El Escorpion. And your second question, really amusing. Would you rather fight a horse-sized duck or 10 duck-sized horses? Oh my god. What would I rather fight? Horse-sized duck? Would a horse-sized duck be Donald Duck himself? Yeah, but except if Donald was like more than twice his size. So I guess I could face a horse-sized duck, because while ducks can bite you in the ass, it'd be better because they're softer to fight. And if you face like 10 if you face 10 duck-sized horses, then you would just be dealing with the horse's hooves and the horseshoes, and they would just bite the shit out of you. So yeah, I'd rather fight a horse-sized duck, because they're just softer creatures despite the size. So yeah, I would face that instead. Thank you for your questions. Your second next set of questions come from Mr. Beetle 890. Thoughts on the Real Americans tag team? The Real Americans tag team, I believe, was Jack Swagger and Cesaro a few years ago. I wasn't really following the company too much around like late 2013, I believe is when they started to become a team. Yeah, I don't think they really got any mileage out of that team, and from what I saw, I think the combination was actually really good, along with Zeb Coulter, who was a really, really good talker. I think they could have got more mileage out of it in retrospect, but right now, yeah, my thoughts on them, they weren't really much. I can't really say much because I didn't see a lot of their work, but from what I've seen, I thought they were pretty decent enough of a tag team until Cesaro broke out as a singles guy in 2014, and until they butchered the push. But yeah, I thought they were a pretty decent tag team from what I remember, so it would have been pretty cool to see a little bit more mileage out of them, having them face the Usos. So yeah, that would have been pretty cool. Second question: what are your thoughts on Cesaro's U.S. title run from 2012 to 2013? I hate to say it, but it was forgettable from what I remember, because I remember seeing him win the title from Santino on the SummerSlam 2012 pre-show, but I don't really remember any matches from his title reign. I remember like seeing hypes for his pay-per-view matches, but none of the matches ever like stood out to me, and nothing really stood out about his reign. The only good thing I heard about his reign was a supposed excellent match with Kofi Kingston on an episode of Main Event in May 2013, I believe it was. So yeah, I hate to say it, but that title reign was forgettable, because while Cesaro is a talented person, he really didn't get much mileage out of that title reign. And I believe he was with Oksana at that point. Was it Oksana? Yeah, and he didn't really get much out of that reign. It's kind of sad. And if he was champion now, I think it'd be like a hell of an improvement on that title reign. So yeah, it would have been interesting. Yeah, that reign really wasn't that memorable or anything, so I hate to say it, but it was more forgettable than anything. And your final question, do you think AJ Styles will get a run with the WWE title this year? It's depending on whether Vince follows through with a supposed year-long reign for Jinder Mahal. And I can see that for Mahal, although it's definitely going to hurt the credibility of SmackDown. I can see it only if they decide that Mahal is not really cutting out for them as champion. Because we've seen some younger guys hold the title and then like their reigns are cut short. And that's because they don't have proper pushes. So yeah, I would say if Mahal doesn't survive by SummerSlam, I'd say give AJ the title. Probably do AJ Cena 4 at SummerSlam. I don't know, something like that. So yeah, it depends on what they do with Hall's reign, but I'd say no as of right now because of my fears that they're going to continue on with Jinder Mahal as champion. So yeah, I'm sorry to say, but I don't think so. But if they do, I'll definitely bite my words. So thank you for your questions, and the last set of questions come from Chris Jericho, the greatest of all time. First question is thoughts on MVP Montel Vontavious Porter. He was really good back in the day, around 2007 to 2009. While he didn't have like a standout actual great match, from what I remember having some really good matches, and I remember him having that one match with Kofi Kingston before Extreme Rules 2009 that was very good. He had a really good series of matches with Chris Benoit. I didn't see their Judgment Day match, but I did see their first two. They had a really good rivalry. MVP, I think, is just really, really talented, and it's sad to know that he really wasn't utilized. And I didn't even hear much about MVP's run in New Japan, although I believe he historically became the first ever IWGP Intercontinental Champion. So it's kind of disappointing to know that MVP didn't really get much mileage out of his career in WWE, because if he had been accepted by Vince as like a potential legit main eventer, he probably could have excelled. I mean, he was really great on the mic. He was really one of the shining spots on WWE in 2007, and in 2008 he definitely carried that momentum on pretty well, despite not doing much in the latter part of 2008. But yeah, and also he had that great feud with Matt Hardy. So yeah, I'm really sad that MVP didn't really get much mileage out of his WWE career. So yeah, MVP I think is really, really good. Definitely should have gotten more. Favorite movie. I have so many favorite movies, it's really difficult to choose one. But if I have to choose one, I'm going to go with Pulp Fiction, directed by Quentin Tarantino. I absolutely adore that film. I haven't seen it in about a few months, but for the times that I've seen it, it's definitely been probably pretty much my favorite. And I would say reason why is because it was the film that made me appreciate the art of filmmaking. And that's why I decided that for the college that I'm going to, which is only about a few minutes away from my house, that for the college I'm going to be studying film. I don't know what the full classes are, but I definitely want to go and achieve, either screenwriting or directing. And this film just really turned my brain on, and I was like, wow, this is just incredible. And the dialogue, I mean, it's so great that it caused a new wave of pop culture when Quentin Tarantino was trying to go for doing an homage to some of the great pop culture of years prior, and he created a new wave. So that was just really awesome. So yeah, it's an amazing film, my favorite of all time. And your last question is, thoughts on Shelton Benjamin? He's really good. He's obviously, what am I saying? He's great. He's a great pure athlete. And even JR himself said that he's the best pure athlete possibly in WWE history. And he definitely proved himself to be. I mean, Shelton was very talented. He didn't really get much out of the mic, in terms of his promos. But in terms of the ring, holy shit, he definitely got himself some great matches, such as the now legendary one with Shawn Michaels on Raw in 2005. He had some great matches with him and Charlie Haas as the world's greatest tag team, I believe it was. They even had some really good matches in Ring of Honor from what I remember hearing about, such as with the Briscoes, mainly the first one, the Kings of Wrestling, and Sheldon, I'll even say it, he's had some pretty good matches in New Japan, I'll admit. While his New Japan run wasn't, like, the greatest thing in the world, I've definitely seen him pull out some really good matches with guys like Nakamura and Tanahashi, even Yuji Nagata. So yeah, Sheldon Benjamin, I think, is really, like, a great performer that really, again, along with MVP, should have gotten more out of his WWE career in terms of the singles run. Because he's had some great matches over the years, but he definitely didn't really live up to the expectations in terms of, like, accomplishment. But yeah, Sheldon Benjamin, great performer. And that's it for this week's edition, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry if it was a shorter than usual episode. Again, there was only 3 sets of questions, but they were still pretty good ones. And don't forget to send in your questions for next week's edition. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell to know whenever I upload a new video. And speaking of uploading, just earlier today I uploaded the top 50 matches of the mid-year of 2017. Give it a watch. And also, ask me any questions you want. If you don't want it to be answered in a video, go ask me over on ask.fm and follow me on Twitter. Links in the description below. And comment your questions for next week's edition, only up to a limit of 3 questions per person. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and until the next edition, peace.